And welcome to final practice. It's the day before the 500 here at the 2020 Open Wheels 500-mile race presented by Mitchell Transmissions. Well, what a wonderful day we have on tap. Final practice right now on Open Wheels TV. Just a little bit later today, we'll go live on RaceSpot TV for the Veterans 100 and the pit stop competition. And that'll bring us all to the Open Wheels 500 tomorrow on RaceSpot TV. Live coverage beginning at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Excited to bring you live coverage of today's final practice at the Open Wheels 500. We just wrapped up our drivers meeting. It was quite extensive and detailed. And now we've got some great action out on track already as these drivers begin to work their way into race shape. You may notice there's fans in the stands now, and it's race weekend, so now we have the fans on screen in the stands, and we can't wait to put on a great show for everybody watching at home. Really excited about this crop of drivers in the 2020 Open Wheels 500 field, and I can't say enough about their respect for this event, their cooperation throughout the last 2 weeks. It's hard to imagine that 13 days ago we opened the track for our first practice on November 1st. And here we are, final practice now. Drivers getting some work in. The track is cooler than what it will be, we expect, towards the end of the race. Right now, track temperature at 122 degrees Fahrenheit. We expect that to rise not only throughout this session, but all the way into the race tomorrow toward the latter stages. We could see the track temp over 135 degrees at some points of the race tomorrow. So a great trial run for the drivers. Right now we already have 15 folks registered for this session, getting out there, getting some practice in race conditions. You see them lapping the 2.5-mile oval right now. As those guys make their way around the track, let's give you a quick rundown of our current starting lineup at the Open Wheels 500. Last year's race winner, number 66, Michele Costantini, he will lead the field to green tomorrow. He took the pole award at a new record speed of 231.392 miles per hour. Again, a new 4-lap high water mark here in Open Wheels 500 qualifying. He'll be followed by Wilson Neto, the number 80 car, and Christopher Demerit on the front row. Those three experienced drivers, all part of last year's 500, and Wilson Neto is actually the second fastest qualifier in last year's Open Wheels 500. So he's hoping to do a little bit better than his finish towards the middle of the pack that he had in 2019. Running down through the order, you'll see a lot of familiar names to the high rankings of IndyCar racing here on iRacing. A lot of former top split iRacing Indy 500 winners. In total, there's 12. And as I run down the list right here, I count 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 drivers with a win in the iRacing Indy 500's featured race. So definitely a stacked lineup and a exciting group of drivers on deck for tomorrow's 500. Even better, we think, than last year's inaugural field that really set the tone for this 2020 event. And we've been so pleased with the quality of driving on track, the interaction with the drivers and the race officials throughout the event to run a nice, clean 500. Now the only thing left to do is make it through the race tomorrow. And we're hoping good thoughts there. We, again, had a great drivers meeting this morning, talked about a lot of concepts and what will be acceptable and what won't be. And hopefully that stays in the back of these drivers' minds as we get ready for the 500 tomorrow. some good action already. Let's see if we can ride along here with Adam Blocker. Do a little onboard camera. We jump on with Adam Blocker, your onboard coverage presented by the Majors Series. Thanks to Michael Lett at the Majors for providing support for all of our Open Wheels TV broadcasts at the 2020 Open Wheels 500. Also a supporter of our broadcasts on RaceSpot TV. Riding along with Adam right now, you can hear how early he has to get out of the throttle. Following behind Michele Costantini right now, our pole sitter for tomorrow, as we mentioned at the outset. And let's see what kind of train is lined up behind Adam. He has actually left the group that was tied up behind him. So it's going to be difficult to follow. These guys are going to be challenged in traffic. It'll be really interesting to see if Adam can get a run here on Costantini. Looking at his lap so far, this is the 12th lap of the run for him. He drafts up behind the 2019 Open Wheels 500 winner. A little lift late in the corner there in turn 4, and that definitely hurt his momentum. Costantini is going to get a run on the driver ahead of him and complete the pass. So let's see how that backs up the next driver to Blocker. Very gentle on the throttle application through turns 1 and 2. Right now they're lapping in the high 40s for a lap time. Blocker getting a good run down the backstretch here, and let's see how he approaches Costantini getting back in line. Well, we got a second. Let's look out the back and see how Orman has kept up. So far doing well. He's got fresh tires. So we'll keep an eye on him and see how he makes it through the next couple laps once his tires heat up and this track temperature continues to rise. Already up 2 degrees from what we mentioned it 6 minutes ago. 124 degrees now, track temperature. Great participation already. 15 drivers with times posted and 19 cars on the pit lane. Fastest so far is Michele Costantini, who you see running just in front of Adam Blocker. Big run for Blocker, and he gets around Costantini. Costantini holds on up high and fights him off. What a line that was from Michele Costantini, and certainly some touch and go moments there for the drivers. You would think in practice they'd back out and let each other have the position, but this again is the best opportunity to really understand what your car is going to be like in these conditions. No penalty for crashing in this practice, but of course there'd be a penalty tomorrow if you crash. You wouldn't be able to get back out on the track. So a great opportunity for these guys to really put in some work. Just about 15 minutes complete in this practice right here. Final practice at the Open Wheels 500-mile race. Nice pack of drivers running around right now. Let's just give you some sights and sounds of racing at the Brickyard. what a scene it is. Always great to watch cars making laps around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, even here in a virtual sense. Watching some of the best sim racers in the world make their way around the track. Chad Simpson in that red and blue number 42. He's certainly got his hands full here at this moment. Racing side by side with Matt Hollibaugh into the corner. Hollibaugh fighting back on the outside, and Wilson Neto shoots by on the inside. So excellent racing going on through the pack right now. Hollibaugh gets shuffled back behind Costantini in that line. Looking back out the front, Simpson battling his way through the corner, having to lift late. Track temperature up again to 125. And coming down the pit lane is Simpson. He watches the rest of the field roll on by, and he brings his car to a halt. Watching right now, Wilson Neto and Young O making laps around the speedway. Young O, last year's pole sitter at the Open Wheels 500, really struggled during the race itself. We saw him almost from the outset fall back in the running order from that top spot. Didn't even lead the first lap of the race before being shuffled back to the end of the field before ultimately finishing outside the top 20. They worked very hard on their race setup over the last 12 months, but it was actually on bump day. Young O was left fighting for his Open Wheels 500 life. He had to make one final attempt in the last hour qualifications to ensure his spot into the field, and will be starting all the way back in 30th position. So uncharted waters for Young O. But he will race on. So far 16 laps complete. 9th fastest in this session. So very excited to see what the experienced sim racer does. A former winner of the top split iRacing Indy 500. He's also been a pole sitter. Great action going on out on track. 17 drivers with times posted to this point. Just about 35 minutes left in practice. Track temp now up to 126 Fahrenheit. Ambient temperature and the humidity and winds will all remain the same throughout the race tomorrow and throughout this practice. But the clouds will move through the sky. That'll affect the sun's position on the racetrack, and the sun's position will move through the sky, heating the track in various ways throughout the day. Wilson Neto leading this train right now with O running second. Costantini third. Fourth in line appears to be Joshua Chin, followed by Chris Stouffer, and at the tail end of that line, Dakota DiCienzo. lot of action in and off the pit lane to this point. We'd like to thank everybody who's tuned in today for final practice. It's been great to see our viewership numbers throughout the month of November here. We've had a lot more support this year than last year, and in a year where we weren't even sure we'd get to have this event. Great to see some growth. Unfortunate to see Young O on his lid right there. Unfortunately, he, oh no, oh, a massive accident here on the front stretch. We'll hope to avoid that tomorrow. Big accident there on the front stretch involving Young O and a couple other drivers, but we move along, thankfully just practice, and no harm, no foul to this point. Wilson Neto, the fastest driver in the session so far, a best lap at 40.015 seconds. He's completed 26 laps. The driver with the most laps complete, number 87, Jesper Orman, with 30 laps under his belt. Now 20 drivers with times posted in the session and 21 cars out on the pit lane. Great to see nearly 2/3 of the field already out on track today, plus a couple alternates. David Adams is an alternate, so far 13th fastest in this practice. Rob Powers is an alternate, 16th quick, and John Downing is an alternate, 20th fast. So all of our alternates present in today's practice and making sure that they put in all the time that they can to ensure that they're prepared should their number be called tomorrow. Driver on the longest fuel stint right now, Jesper Orman, 21 laps to this point. Other drivers on some long runs right now, Matt Hollabaugh, 17 laps into his stint, 15 for Michele Costantini, 16 for Wilson Neto. Both those drivers right there on your screen, and the bright yellow and black car, Jason Brophy, following them along. Good looking car, great to have Jason in this year's Open Wheels 500. He was very competitive at the iRacing Indy 500 back in May. 32 minutes left in practice. We'll take a short break at 30 minutes. Step aside, give you a little bit of non-stop action. Reset and bring you the last half of final practice at the Open Wheels 500-mile race. See the two drivers at the bottom of the timing, Christopher Demerit, AJ Burton. They have not taken to the track just yet, so we'll look forward to seeing them out on track. Christopher Demerit, the outside row 1 qualifier for this afternoon's Veterans 100. That'll start in just about an hour from now. Excited to see how the drivers get along for that race. Brandon Trano, the defending iRacing Indy 500 feature race winner, who was unable to qualify for this year's Open Wheels 500 due to scheduling conflicts. He's on the pole for this year's Veterans 100. That'll be an interesting race, and that'll be followed shortly thereafter by the pit stop competition at about 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Both those shows will be live on RaceSpot TV. We'll be posting the link to those broadcasts on our Open Wheels social media channels. So make sure to be following us on Twitter at Open Wheels 500, on Facebook at Open Wheels Web, and on Instagram at Open Wheels. Good action back here in the pack. Good action on the backstretch as well, as drivers leave the pit lane. I see Christopher Demerit out there. And it appears A.J. Burton is joining the fun as well. So a big train of cars here, about 8 to 10 cars that should give a pretty good indication of what we'll see for some racing conditions in the event itself. Rob Powers leading this group, followed by Cosentini, Brophy, Blocker looking to the inside, and then Demerit behind him. Let's see if we can ride around with Christopher Demerit right in the middle of this mix. Get you a little bit of onboard action presented by Mitchell Transmissions, the presenting sponsor of the Open Wheels 500-mile race. Demerit working in line right now. Runs a bit of an arc through the corner. One of the best here on iRacing at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A former feature race winner in the iRacing Indy 500's top split. Multiple race winner across all top split races. He's going to pack it in up high. Racing with Blocker and Brophy. Sounds like Demerit has company. Let's look out the back, and there's Joshua Chin. He's making a run to the inside. Not quite enough as he backs out of it. Demerit in line right now. And it's just Chin, so Brophy has lost the pack behind them. Big check up there. I think that's Rob Powers on the inside, so watch to see how Demerit gets ahead of steam on Adam Blocker ahead of him. If he can close up, or if Blocker will take advantage of just one car creating dirty air in front of him and run away a bit from Demerit. Good corner there for Chris in the number 144 machine, part of Broken Arrow with I5G and Apex Racing Team. We took you a little bit past our scheduled time, but and before our break, so we're going to take a quick break right now. We'll go a little bit of non-stop action and continue to follow the world's best sim racers. It's the final practice for the Open Wheels 500-mile race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We'll go non-stop and join you in just a little bit. You're watching Day Before the 500 activities live on Open Wheels TV. Coverage of the 2020 Open Wheels 500 is brought to you by the Majors Series, presenting partner of Open Wheels 500 broadcast. Mitchell Transmissions, presenting sponsor of the Open Wheels 500. Pit Lane Parlay Podcast. Listen to Pit Lane Parlay today on all major podcast platforms. And the Majors Garage, the official setup shop of the Open Wheels 500. And welcome back to final practice at the 2020 Open Wheels 500. It's been a great month of action to this point. And we wrap up pre-race activity here today. Just about 20 minutes remaining in practice to this point. Lots of drivers out on track. As you see exiting the corner right there. Big group of drivers tracking down Hugo Olsen. So far, 23 drivers with times posted thus far in practice. As we're getting down to the very end of track availability. Again, stick with it today at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, top of this hour. We'll go live on RaceSpot TV. That'll be the Veterans 100, the second edition of that race. Last year won by Luca Banez. He's not here in 2020, so we'll have a new race winner in that event. And then following the Veterans 100 will be the pit stop competition at about 3 p.m. Eastern Time, again on RaceSpot TV. That'll all be in one broadcast. That'll be exciting. Last year's defending winner, Brendan Lichtenberg, he will be back for that event later on this afternoon. So looking forward to him trying to defend that crown. Michele Costantini, last year's Open Wheels 500 winner, nearly won both the pit stop competition and the Open Wheels 500. Just missed out on the pit stop competition when he ran out of fuel on the final lap. Just about right there in between turns 1 and 2. He relinquished the lead to Christopher Demerit and Brendan Lichtenberg. Ended up playing the fuel strategy right the very next day and won the 2019 Open Wheels 500. See Christopher Demerit darting for the pit lane. In that last shot, he clipped the wall there on corner exit of turn 4, and that's a very dangerous place on this track. Turn 4 seems to give a little bit of false confidence at times. It can really lull you to sleep and put you in trouble. And before you know it, it's too late. Drift up into the wall, and that could put an early end to your day right off the bat. So drivers will be careful, especially coming out of turns 2 and 4. But really, even though all these corners look identical, they all have their own characteristics, and in track conditions as hot as these, now 128 degrees Fahrenheit, there are no easy passes on this 2.5 mile oval. .24 drivers with times posted now, and Austin Espity, he's on the pit lane trying to make it 25. So again, some great participation from our field of starters and alternates in today's final practice. Just over 15 minutes remaining. Driver with the most laps turned to this point appears to be a tie between Adam Blocker and Jesper Orman, 54 apiece for those drivers, 52 for Michele Costantini, 48 for Hugo Olsen. A.J. Burton leading this pack. He dips down to the inside. That normally signals that driver will be coming down to the pit lane. We'll see if he peels off. Not this time, so it looked like he was just trying to break the draft. We got a moment. Let's ride along with Hugo Olsen. A little bit of a nose camera view. Onboard coverage brought to you by Pit Lane Parlay, the official sponsor of the Pit Lane Parlay Pole Award and Qualifications Weekend at the Open Wheels 500. Olsen very low in turn 2, down below that white line. Get a big run down the back straightaway, over 230 miles an hour right there. Heading into turn 3. Christopher Demeritte following closely behind the former Three Crowns Racing driver, and that's a cool homage by Olsen. He keeps the Three Crowns logo on his back wing, even though he is now a member of Power Slide Motorsports. So nice tip of the cap to Jesper Orman and Oliver Silva, the two Three Crowns Racing drivers that have qualified for this year's field of 33. Lots of action out on track right now. Olsen and Demeritte lapping around, just two of the folks in this big pack, led by Matt Hollibaugh and Niall McBride. Ahead of A.J. Burton, Michele Cosentini, and Adam Blocker. Had a little bit of cloud coverage here at the Speedway, and that's softened that intensity of the sun. Track temp right now, 126 degrees. We've seen it as high as 128. Good participation in practice thus far today. 25 drivers with times posted. Adam Crane moves up the board. He goes to second fastest on a nice toe lap. Falling behind Wilson Neto, leading the way on the final practice leaderboard. Of course, those times don't necessarily indicate who will have the best outright pace for tomorrow's event, but gives you something to at least look at through the practice session here. A.J. Burton on your screen. Right there, driver for I5G with Broken Arrow and Apex Racing Team. Was a good looking livery right there. Chrome red with black and white accents. For tomorrow's 500-mile race, AJ will roll off 18th. So let's see if we can do a little bit of a run through the field, talk about some drivers we haven't really talked about. There's Adam Crane running in the back of this little 3-car pack. Adam's a first-timer at the Open Wheels 500. Currently second fastest in this practice. Adam will be starting 14th. Talked about Michele Costantini, Adam Blocker, Josh Chin, Hugo Olsen. Next on the leaderboard would be Dakota DiCienzo out there making some laps on his own in the number 43 Total Downforce Racing with Team Talent Chevrolet. Thanks to Dakota for offering some sponsorship space for OpenWheels.com. Good to always promote the brand. He's about to lead this massive pack of cars. Dakota, an early exit from last year's race after crashing just before lap 100, but he'll start 26th tomorrow, hoping for some better luck. Further back in that pack, there's that chrome light blue car of Chris Stouffer, another Power Slide Motorsports driver. He battled through hardware issues all through the last 30 days leading into qualifications weekend. His new steering wheel wasn't scheduled to arrive until the day after qualifications on Monday. He struggled through his first 2 runs of the weekend, was not in the field of 33. The new wheel came somehow on Sunday. He plugged it in, got a couple practice runs in, and put his car into the field of 33. So a dramatic run for Chris Stouffer, put him in the field. Move down the order to Tim Doyle. Doyle will start 24th, another ludicrous speed driver, just like Young O at the head of that shot right there in the red and yellow car. Doyle, a former iRacing Indy 500 winner. He also struggled during the race last year, but is optimistic that their race setup is better here in 2020. They'll look to improve tomorrow. Move ahead to Jason Brophy. He's now leading this strung out largest group on the track, just ahead of Dakota DiCienzo. And Brophy, a first-timer here at the Open Wheels 500. He won the top split featured race in the first ever iRacing Indianapolis fixed 500 this past May. That was on RaceSpot TV. So Brophy, a strong run in that race. He also had a strong run in the featured Open Series race, and we actually crashed coming to the start-finish line. He picked up a top 5 in that event and looks to have a strong run tomorrow. Flip on over to Austin Espety. He might be waiting on his friend Rob Powers behind him. Austin will be starting 28th. He was disappointed with his qualifications position, but he did end up being the fastest driver on day 2 qualifications, and he'll look to move up through the field. Niall McBride runs there in the green, white, and blue, number 41, unfortunately pounding the wall on corner exit. He is in the field this year after missing the race in 2019. Matt Hollabaugh right there leading the way with his All-American iRacers with Gonzalez Motorsports machine. He's a newcomer to the Open Wheels 500. Did try to qualify last year, missed the show, so this year, first timer in the field, and Matt will start 17th. Flip on over to John Downing, which he is out on the access road near turns 3 and 4 right now, bringing his car off the racing line, now accelerating and perhaps trying to time up a run with the pack. John is a alternate for tomorrow's race, so he'll need a few drivers to not show up to get in the field, but he's preparing nonetheless and is 19th fastest today. David Adams just now leaving the pit lane for Sadie Sim Autosport. Another alternate driver in the same position. He is 20th fastest overall. Just missed out on the show was a starter in last year's race. Fortunately, he'll need some luck to get into this year's event. Number 87, Jesper Orman, shown on screen. He's been one of the most active participants throughout practice at this year's Open Wheels 500. He was rewarded with a 12th place starting position, practicing some pit stops as he gets ready for his first Open Wheels 500. Big hit by Jason Brophy exiting the corner there. We move on to show you the number 22, Simon Bryant, driver in the middle of this massive train of cars that was rolling down the front stretch. He is the only Sadie Sim Autosport driver to qualify outright for this year's race. He will start 25th in his second Open Wheels 500. Moving over to Brendan Lichtenberg, driver the number 10. We mentioned earlier he is the defending winner of the pit stop competition and has a great view for the start of tomorrow's race. He'll be in the middle of row 2, starting 5th. Just a little further back in that train is Oliver Silva, his first Open Wheels 500. He was the driver on the bubble at the end of the day on bump day, but made his way into the field. He was the slowest day 1 qualifier, so he'll start 27th for 3 Crowns Racing. That's all the drivers who have posted times to this point in practice today. Still some great action going on through the pack. Just 4 minutes remaining in practice to this point. And a new leader atop the leaderboard. It's Tim Doyle and Young O. A couple big laps put the Ludicrous Speed drivers at the top of the chart. Throughout the field of drivers who have posted times thus far, the top 24 are separated by less than a second on their best laps. And Oliver Silva is just 0.09 of a second off of that mark. 73 laps complete for Adam Blocker, 69 for Michele Costantini, and 66 for Jesper Orman, 60 for Hugo Olsen. Those are your lap leaders thus far in practice. If you head on over to open-wheels.com/timing, you can get live timing and scoring for tomorrow's race. Be a great supplement to your race day coverage. Looking about just 1 minute, 30 seconds left in practice. Actually, just about a minute flat now. Drivers bringing these final moments of practice here in the month of November in 2020 to a close. It's been a great couple of weeks of practice. I really enjoyed the live practice shows that we've had. Big thanks to the folks that have tuned in to our events thus far. I know Logan Detweiler's been in on a lot of these broadcasts, Christian Steele as well. Fabio Viana tuning in today, so thanks to you, Fabio. Watkins, Gary Holtman have been checking out things on and off through the event. Some of our competitors checked out practices as we rolled through the 2 weeks, and it's been a great couple of weeks leading into this year's race. Really appreciative of all the drivers' support. Can't wait to see how they perform in tomorrow's Open Wheels 500. Checkered flag is out on this session. Drivers coming around to complete their final laps. Fastest in the session appears like it's going to be Tim Doyle, followed by Young O, Wilson Neto, Adam Crane, and Michele Costantini. Much of these drivers going to run it out as long as they can. So what we're going to do, we're going to give you a final look at the rundown and then get you set for this afternoon's events on RaceSpot TV. One more reminder that the Open Wheels 500 will go live tomorrow, November 15th at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time on RaceSpot TV. Can't wait to bring that to you guys. Our second edition of the world's greatest sim race. And now let's bring back the starting lineup here for tomorrow's Open Wheels 500. Again, on the pole, it'll be number 66, Michele Costantini, followed by Wilson Neto and Christopher Demerit on the front row. Christian Schallner, Brendan Lichtenberg, Hugo Olsen in the second row. Matt Pavelski, Adam Blocker, Joshua Chin in row 3. Jason Brophy, Liam Quinn, Jesper Orman in row 4. Row 5 has Chad Simpson, Adam Crane, and Andrew Wood, followed by row 6 with Marco Brazil, Matt Hollibaugh, and A.J. Burton. Row 7 sees Andreas Eek, Andrew Kinsella, and Chris Cahoe, while Henry Bennett, Niall McBride, and Tim Doyle fill out row 8. In row 9, it's Simon Bryant, Dakota DiCienzo, and Oliver Silva. And row 10 brings Austin Espity, Chris Stouffer, and Young O. Final row features Logan Simmons, Dylan Freckleton, and Daniel Johnson. Our alternates, Rob Powers, John Downing, and David Adams. Well, what a wonderful 2 weeks of practice it has been. We won't be done just yet on Open Wheels TV. Catch us tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Time for the official pre-race show of the Open Wheels 500. We'll bring you all the special pre-race festivities right here on Open Wheels TV, and that'll lead into RaceSpot TV's broadcast of the 2020 Open Wheels 500 live at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, again on RaceSpot TV. That's not all for today, though. Make sure you hop on over to RaceSpot TV at the top of the hour, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Catch the Veterans 100 and the Pit Stop competition, again at RaceSpot TV, 2 p.m. Eastern, 27 minutes from now. Big thanks to everybody who's tuned in to the Open Wheels 500 on Open Wheels TV throughout the month. I really appreciate everyone who's interacted and supported the event thus far. We can't wait for tomorrow's big day. Have fun the rest of the day. Head on over to RaceSpot and support the Open Wheels 500. Big thanks to the Major Series, Majors Garage, and Michael Ouellette for supporting our broadcast here on Open Wheels TV. Thanks to Faye Constantine and ABC Circle Music for permission to use the IndyCar on ABC theme. And thanks to everybody participating in this year's Open Wheels 500. On behalf of everybody at Open Wheels Motorsports Sanctioning, I'm Tanner Watkins, signing off from final practice at the 2020 Open Wheels 500-mile race.